High Power Recapped here. Today I'm going to explain a sci-fi horror movie called The End of World. Spoilers ahead. Watch out, and take care. Subscribe for more. As we all know that for many years there was a rumor that the world will end on December 21, 2012. Later NASA scientists and employees researched the matter. At the beginning of the film, we see Adrian, an American geologist talking with an Indian astronomer, Santam Surutani. He learns that the world is being heated by a solar flare. Later, we meet Adrian, a geologist who travels to Washington, D.C. He informs the head of staff there what he knows. After hearing all of Adrian's information, the chief of staff transports him to the U.S. president. Later, we see a scene from 2010 in which they have all planned a secret meeting with the president, and tell them that our planet is going to end and that they all work on a secret project afterward. China's army officers begin their secret mission later. They were working on a spaceship that could hold 1 million people. Another man is working in this spaceship, as we can see. Later, we see Laura, the president's daughter. When she learns that the world will end in 2012, she becomes terrified. She keeps the Mona Lisa painting hidden since it was precious. Then, in the year 2012, we meet Jackson, a science fiction writer. He quickly wakes since he needs to get his children to the campaign. Later, he visits his ex-wife, who lives with a friend. Jackson takes his children to the campaign in a park. When he goes there, he is shocked to see what he sees because he travels there frequently with his wife. Now, he claims that the area has been barren and that there was once a pound there. That was completely dried up. Jackson makes trespassing, and going there was illegal. However, Jackson travels there with both of his children. Military personnel arrives as a result of Jackson's actions. They bring Jackson and his children along. Meanwhile, we observe another man with a microscope keeping an eye on Jackson from afar. He sees geologist Adrian when they get to the military. Adrian meets Jackson and informs him that he has read his book. Later, he requests the military personnel to release Jackson. We notice a man with a microscope standing at a distance approaching Jackson. He inquires as to what the army personnel has said to you, and he responds that they have told me they shouldn't come since this isn't a safe place. Jackson was resting in the camp when he heard a man's voice. When he notices that it was the same man with the microscope, he gets shocked. Jackson, when sees him, notices that he is the man who speaks on the radio. He used to broadcast information about the end of the world to the world. He tells Jackson that the Earth's plates will shift their direction soon, and our Earth will be destroyed soon. Huge disasters would occur as a result of this, and everyone would be wiped out. Jackson doesn't pay much attention to him and goes from there. The following day, we observe Jackson's wife with a friend. They were shopping at a mall when a massive earthquake hit the area. Jackson's wife contacts him and tells him to take the kids home right away. The next day, Jackson returns home with his children. He goes from there after dropping them off with his wife. Jackson was actually a wealthy man's driver, and he was on his way to the airport to drop his sons. Meanwhile, a massive earthquake hits California. Jackson immediately takes his family and tries to place them in a safe place. The earthquake was powerful enough to send the entire state of California smashing to the ground. All of the rooms were separated into two sections, and all of the cars were getting into the ground. Nothing was safe in its place since the entire system had been destroyed. All of the buildings were collapsing, and everyone was getting buried in the earth. All of the preachers, cars, and people were buried beneath the earth. That was a devastating earthquake that killed everyone in California. After saving everyone's lives, Jackson rushes to the airport. When Jackson arrives at the airport, he informs his ex-wife that government is working on a top-secret mission to build a spaceship. There is a map to reach the spaceship. The map was in the hands of the man who kept an eye on Jackson with a microscope. Jackson visits the same man in the park. A massive volcano erupts nearby. A massive lava flow emerges from the mountain. Jackson and his family find that map. That volcano was extremely dangerous, but Jackson, after much difficulty, managed to survive his family. With the help of this map, they get to know that this spaceship is in China. They need a big plane to go to China. Jackson takes his family to his boss. There were the twin sons of his boss, his friend, and a pilot. His name was Sasha, they all were successful to depart from there. In the movie, we see geologist Adrian here, who was talking to his father. He was a musician, he was traveling on a ship at that time. Adrian tells his father that our Earth is going to end. They both were crying, and his father knew that. We won't live for a long time. His father knows that the ship on which they're traveling would also end soon. During this time, the President of the United States has an online conference in which he tells everyone the truth. The President tells that they're not going to any spaceship. He'll sacrifice his life by living here with other people. We witness Adrian and Laura's daughter, who is the President's daughter. After boarding a plane, they set off towards China. They've survived. On the other hand, the entire world has come to an end, and just a few people have survived. They were all in the spaceship, and they were all happy. Later, the new year begins, and the film 2012 comes to a close.